For the past 2 years, I bought plane tickets and tickets for New Year's to see Kill Tony. You watch Kill Tony? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a few weeks ago was when I was supposed to be at, and then a year prior. But both of those times, Shadow's health went south. So I had to refund everything that I could anyways. So what I'm thinking is this year, you know, now that sweet Shadow's no longer around, I'm thinking New York. And I don't mean like Times Square ball dropping nonsense. Well, there will be some ball dropping, but just show up with a very little plan in a very sketchy area and just kind of see what's what.
That might, yeah.
Because New York's always evaded me. You know, in the past year, I've been to like Vegas twice, Austin a couple times, Chicago, Florida, you know, but New York has always been on my list, and it's just, I don't know, just the cards have never aligned. So I'm thinking somewhere, maybe not New Year's, because, you know, like Vegas, for example, they jack up them hotel rates for New Year's. But somewhere at the end of the year, you know, we have a very loose plan, you know, see some shows, some concerts, something. And then other than that, we just pop in and out and see how life really is down there.
Right.
And then be thankful we live in such a small area, I would imagine, you know, because that will be bananas. We'll have to think of a name, though. We'll bring some cameras like we did the Classy and Cali series.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to be Naughty in New York.
No,
that sounds like we're about to bang each other.
Nonsense in New York.
Yeah, we'll have some play.
We'll figure it out.
Got my head knocked in New York, you know. Hey, walk in here. You know, they love it when you go down there and do that.
Yeah.
But no matter what, you know, that is the mecca for stand-up. You know what I mean? Like, I've always wanted to see Jim Norton, for example. And he typically does like Wednesday nights at the Fat Black Pussycat. So
I have to see some Madison Square Garden.
That would be a little tougher, probably.
That's probably fucking expensive. But...
Yeah, I'm talking like when we go stay in like Inglewood, like little hole, like you remember them comedy clubs down there, and then like that dude trying to kidnap us.
Yeah.
He's like, get in the back of the vehicle. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
No, thank you.
It's like, dude, I am 30 years old. I know, you know what I mean? Lollipops are not going to work for me, buddy. We go down and just see what's what, you know, good or bad. I mean, you know us, like we've been to a lot of places we shouldn't have been in, but it was always like, you know, we always figured it out. I remember one time you had the camera on you in Inglewood, and it was nighttime, and we were at that Yoshiboya or whatever. And some dude's like real super aggressive with his boys outside. Why the fuck are you filming out here? Where are you from, cuz? And I don't remember if it was you or me. One of us was like, we're not filming. He's like, hey, cuz, I'm not retarded. There's a red light on your camera. You know, like he just saw right through the nonsense. But yeah.
Good times.
Those people did not be like, we've been talking about you guys. You've been out here for like a week filming everyone. It's like, well, you know, what do you do? But yeah, New York, I think, would be good. It's funny. One of the previous videos we did, I made a short out of where I was poking a little jabs at Call of Duty players. I was saying, you know, Elden Ring Night Ring players probably, you know, play Call of Duty, probably play with men, you know. So one dude comments on it in particular. He's aggressive and upset. You know, it might have been one of them New Yorkers. And he starts telling me how I'm a piece of shit, da-da-da-da. And I write back something peaceful and logical. And it was the craziest shit I've never seen on the internet. He replies back and he's like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry I overreacted.
What?
And my first thought was like, I'm getting fucking played.
Fuck you, piece of
something's
shit.
happening. But no, he was just a guy like, hey, I overreacted. I got mad that you didn't like what I like. You weren't really being hard on it. And I was like, this may have never happened on the internet before this day. But yeah, he's a good guy. He subscribed, and here we are. Which, by the way, I was like, we're not getting many comments on this. YouTube has a section that automatically, like, filters out, like, bad comments.
Oh, yeah?
And then you don't get, like...
Stop that. We thrive for that shit.
You don't get, like, an alert or a notification. You have to go physically out of your way to check those. And I did. And, yeah. Call of Duty boys were not happy with me. It's always the same thing. He's too skinny, he's too bald, and he's too old. Fuck does he know? You know, it's typically a variation on that. Do you think you'll still be gaming when you're like 80? Like if you lived to 80.
That is something I've thought about.
Do you think, because I have plenty of people now, mainly like chicks will come over and they'll be like, you got a lot of PlayStation stuff. You know, like,
damn right. Bitch.
Aren't you a little like, my kid plays that? I'm like, well, what's his gamer tag? You know,
Yeah.
probably be more entertaining to hang out with than you are. But yeah, do you think you'd be an old man fucking hitting the newest Resident Evil 46, you know?
I'd like to think so.
I think if my hands...
What else am I going to fucking do at 80?
Dick won't work no more. I'm thinking if my hands hold up, you know, I have a lot of trouble with my hands, but by then you might be playing it with your mind.
Right.
You know, you might get, you see Elon, oh God, he's such a clown now, but did you see they just did trials, I believe it's the third Neuralink injection, implant? I saw an interview from the guy who got the first one, and he was like, life changed that moment. He was like, I knew everything. I could do everything with my mind. And he's like, and then they took it away, and now life sucks. So, like, he's like, I wish I would have never had it done. I got a taste of that sweet, sweet robotics, which I don't really know what he can do. Turns TV on.
Right.
Maybe.
Yes, superhuman strength now.
The only thing I could think of is maybe it works similar to like Google somehow tied into your thoughts where you're like, what's the square root of 1,236? And then you just know it. Similar to like Googling it.
It's kind of scary.
It is scary. Like, what if you have some bad thoughts? Because if they can put stuff in, they can probably...
Your house just gets raided.
Yeah.
We're going to stop you before this happens, bud.
Which, by the way, here's a
dark.
philosophical question for you. If you look at your own dick and get turned on, does that make you gay?
I don't know. Never been in that situation.
No reason.
All right.
Anyways.
Moving on.
I got this dude. This dude bought... that's a YouTube short, I'll tell you what. This dude placed like a $50 order with me, right? On the online store. And he bought a few like, Jesus. He bought a few like face masks, you know, like the, like Sub-Zero, like, you know, pullovers, balaclava or whatever they call them. So 24 hours goes by and he's like, where the fuck are my masks? I'm like, dude, you're in a different state. You know what I mean? It's going to take, and this was during the snow last week. I looked at he's in Texas. I looked at the weather and an Arctic front was coming into Texas and all mail was like frozen. And I messaged him and I'm like, well, bad news, buddy. You know, there's going to be a further delay. He still hasn't gotten them, by the way. He messages me every single day at midnight. You are the most irresponsible seller. You are stopping my package from being delivered. And, you know, I'm always super professional. I'm like, well, you know, you have to understand, I did ship your package within 24 hours. I cannot control the USPS. You guys are under like
or
a
the
foot
weather.
Of snow.
Yeah.
And then eventually, after like 6 days, I think this is like the 9th day, after like 6 days of this, I said, man, can I ask you an honest question? Do you think I'm delivering your package? And then he messaged back, yes. Like,
so he thinks you're handling it like you're driving down there to give it to him.
I don't know logistically how he thinks it works, but he thinks I am making the delivery. Because he made some sort of comment like, well, when you get here, it better all be intact or something to that effect. And I'm like,
this is first day?
Is this a freaking 4-year-old?
Right.
But this guy is getting so upset. You know, you are the worst eBayer in the history of eBayers. You are, I thought you were a responsible seller. He told me one of the messages, he goes, first he goes, I'm 100% positive feedback buyer, so I need answers. Sellers can't leave negative feedback for buyers. So if you're a good buyer, like everyone who's a buyer is 100% positive. And then he starts telling me he knows people at eBay. Like he knows the owner. He knows John eBay apparently. And but this guy is so pissed he did not get his packages the same day. So he's opening up cases, but I mean, it'll get on eBay, it'll get him nowhere because, you know, I shipped it. I did my part. Now, if it becomes a lost package, of course, I have to refund him. Which, for anyone else, I would have already given him like a 50% refund. I would have looked at how much profit I made and not gave away all of the profit to where I'm still profitable, but I would have gave them some of their money back and said, hey, look, this is out of my control. You know, because you're having to wait, I know that sucks. Here's this. But yeah, he's messaged me everything from, we're so cold here. So apparently it's the only mask this fella has. But yeah, I saw his tracking updated today. It's only made it to from here to Kansas City so far. And it's been like 8 days.
That's going the wrong way.
Oh, God. That means, since that updated today, that means tonight at midnight, that's what the mess... I didn't think about it that way. It's going to be like, now you're driving in the opposite direction.
Turn around.
I got another person. I totally thought I was getting bamboozled, right? I sell a kitchen faucet or shower head or something like that. And someone messages me the next day and says, hey, you're sending my package. I bought this. You know, he didn't have an order number, but he knew what the item was. He said, I bought this from you. I need you to send it somewhere else, but it was a different username. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of this. You know, because anyone can look in the sold items on eBay and then message someone. So as I see the tracking now, that is an undeliverable address they gave me, and it's on its way back to me. So that was somehow the buyer from a different account. And that's all I've heard from him. So I'm sure that's going to, maybe they don't have access to the other account. It's a weird scenario, but they're trying to get me to reroute it mid, you know, whatever. But could you imagine if like you monitored like the PS5 console sales and you're like, oh, Jim Bob 342 sold this PS5 yesterday, and you message him and go, hey, this was actually my package and it's being sent to the wrong place.
And they just like fucking reroute it.
Mm-hmm. And then the seller, it would completely be the seller's fault. So he's going to miss out on all that. Like, what do you do at that point, you know?
Fucking move immediately.
That's the worst part of this eBay stuff, man, is the customer service. Because, I mean, you want to tell these ass bags, you know. You want to be like, you fucking idiot, you know. I don't deliver your package. You're just going to have to sit tight, sweetheart. But you can't. You know what I mean? So you got to be like, well, sir, you have to understand this is out of my control. And if I could do something, I sure would. And all of this when I'm about to have spinal reconstructive surgery.
You get the robot strength?
I'm hoping to get that add-on. Yeah. But, yeah, I went and saw a surgeon, right? And I'd never been to them in Kansas. And they look at all my MRIs and there's nothing here. And I'm like, dude, I've been to like a dozen places. I can point out to you on the picture what's wrong. And then they're like, oh, well, that's because your MRIs were from Freeman and they're garbage. So they had it up on a big screen. They zoomed way in and then they put their face right next to the screen. And they're like, oh, okay, I kind of see it now. And I'm like, I'm kind of going somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, how crazy is that? You know, I got 4 ruptured discs in the lower back and 3 in the top. Like, it's a giant black smudge on the MRIs. It's not like it's, you know, you don't have to have a Neuralink to read that son of a bitch. You know what I mean? What else is going on with you, Littlefoot?
I'm on my 7 days off, so
that is
fun.
That is such bullshit. You get to just do fuck all for 7 days and still make a full-time paycheck?
Yeah, the way it schedules out, yeah. But then next month I'm going to have to do a week where I work 7 days straight.
Yeah, but I worked 7 days straight and worked 2 jobs 5 of those 7 days. But then again, once I pull out of the shop and your mom, like, my job will literally, I mean, there's logistics, there's importing, all of that, but my job will just consist of a little forklifting work, sitting it's cold, so I've moved everything in here. I sit on the couch, watch YouTube and list items on eBay. So if I can get all the way to where I'm just doing that, and then we just come in here and slap donkeys for a while and do this show, like, you know what I mean? Like, that is solid. Because I was always like, I'm going to be retired by 40, which, you know, I just turned 40. Hold your happy birthday comments. I know that's what we'll get, but, you know, I just turned 40 like 4 days ago, you know. It's weird. I'm a grown man, dude.
Old fuck.
I was talking to my sister and my niece the other day and talking about growing up. And I was wearing a Mario hoodie and a matching Mario beanie. I'm going to be a kid forever. I will never grow up, and I will fight or murder anyone who tries to get me to. You know what I mean? Gonna be dropping bombs on them. All right, well, once I start threatening to unalive people, I think that's when we need to go ahead and shut the cameras off before I burn this whole thing down. Good night.